My wife cheated countless of times and I found something heartbreaking. Part 1. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. Okay, where to start? I, 35M, was cheated on by my wife, 38F. I don't have a lot of people to talk to in my life. Separation is nearly impossible. We simply cannot afford two households. I have taken into account any financial assistance available at the state and local level. It is mathematically impossible, and I have 6 kids, count them 6, who are 8 and under. One of them wasn't a year old when she started all of this. My wife has always been somewhat immature. She basically has to hear what she has to hear. She is vulnerable to people pleasing, except me, who she takes things out on. When something needs to change, she explodes. I've realized I more or less kept her life from being explosive, and otherwise unstable, like her 2 sisters, one a twin, one older. I'm not just ragging on the family. This is clearly familial. They are very alike. I used to be pretty proud to be the one guy not cheated on, and we've been together now almost 10 years. Now I don't even know what to do. It's clear where it started to snowball. She returned to work. We could finally make that work if she took mornings. This meant we didn't need daycare. She would do 4 to 11:30 and I would head in when she got home. Starbucks. Of all the stores, I'll come back to this later. Eventually she just started insulting me to everyone who would listen. I'm not perfect, we would fight. My wife, however, would take it to another level. She would scream she hated me, she would say I don't please her, she would yell everything under the sun over the same basic few fights. Stop spending us into oblivion. I lost my house I had when we first met because I had to eventually sell it to pay off massive debt. She is impulsive with money. She threw a literal tantrum when I told her in her second car that we were absolutely to leave the lot and said I did the same to get $1,000 off my car. We ended up with her throwing a fit. Her prior car sold at the far end of red on KBB, and the new one far red on KBB, and an $855 monthly car payment on what I would consider to be a decent car, top model Mazda CX-9, but not high scale. That is just one of many stupid actions she took. Stop yelling at me. When I would ask her to treat me better, she would scream how I was calling her a bad wife and was a bad man. We are talking hysterical level fits because I would say she needed to change. I would constantly say listen to me, she would mock me, saying oh I'll listen, it won't fix anything. I had to tell her change what to what? What is your definition of fixed? I had to point out I knew she would fight, I was okay with it, as long as we moved on and solved things. But her expectation was more or less becoming fixed was correlated with never having to hear about anything she does that needs to change. Eventually, she finally started saying I wish I had cheated on you and thank God I'm not pregnant with another one of your kids. Thank God indeed, she started her period early, one of the only times she did, she's like clockwork. And the thank God was because she was cheating at this point, and scouting out men. 9 men. She sexted 9. All quite young. Early to mid-20s, no real life career, just weak. The one she had sex with, Ricardo, even offered to be a bottom for me if she would keep seeing him, because my wife realized he was super weak. She called it off just before I found out, at least on a sexual basis, he got friend-zoned, it started with one from work. He dropped her. She broke and wanted more. She then talked to and sexted random men on Snapchat, one of which she met twice and had sex with and gave a blowjob the first time. During all this, because she was picking up hours, I took over my kids nearly entirely. She would go out 3 times a week. One day, on a date, she picked a fight. February 11th. I still remember it. It was when I finally told her I either get access to her phone or I'm filing a divorce. Because the way she picked that fight made it abundantly clear she bailed on that date before she bailed. She called me asking when I would be home. I moved my workout, I had left a little late. I was actually apologetic. I said oh, I can skip, I left late, I don't want to be late. She said no, go, and then guilted me saying I don't want to have to hear you complain about it later. I then said I can make my own decisions. What are you doing? She then said nothing, took it as an accusation. It wasn't, it was more of a why are you fighting with me statement, and hung up on me saying stop embarrassing me in front of my friend. The friend she was hanging up on I couldn't hear. So I called her back and said really, what is going on? What was that? She then said more or less how dare you embarrass me in front of my friend. I'm not doing our date. So I make it to the gym, decide why not go, and she then tries to guilt me again, saying sure, I should drive to our date drunk, and die, at which point I said we talked at 4:40. It is now 5:15. You already were drinking before you said this. You're just too bad at lying to know what you just revealed. I'll ask again, what is going on? She then disappeared for a full day. She didn't come back until 11 at night. Now, it's possible she was with Tori, a girl from work, bad-mouthing me. I saw the Snapchats and they do confirm a timeline. But these attacks just went on for a long time, and this was the date that made me say no, give me the phone or we are done. Coincidentally, I still didn't find out. She had a lock app to hide the pictures which looked like a calculator and I didn't notice. And the text said nothing. Snapchat was what we used for our kids. I thought nothing of it. The 16th I logged into Snapchat. That's when I saw Beth, who she had renamed, and what were clear sexual conversations. At first I thought this was a girl. I confronted her. She let me believe she had sex with a woman. I told her that if this was what she wanted, because this Beth said bring me next time, understand that while any guy would want that, I have 6 kids, I will never harm them, and to me, that's not what a relationship is. I was dedicated. And if that was her choice, my answer was no. In hindsight, it made me look like a total fool, and also made her feel horrible about herself knowing what type of guy she has. Really, how many men would reject that scenario? She allowed me to believe this, and that Cole from work, who was also in Snapchat, were the only people. She told this guy Cole she loved him. She showed him when I was angry about headphones, a minor fight. Right after she told me to get a towel for her, I never am asked to do this, and she angrily sent a picture of her in it to him while I was making up for saying don't touch my headphones in the other room. I feel like I was kicked like a dog. I watched those 6 kids while she went out. That meant food, cleaning, changing, and I take them weekends when she works, mornings until 1:30 p.m. That means breakfasts, lunch, changing, and bottles. On nights, every night after I get home I let her wind down and take the kids. This means a bath. I took over cooking entirely. I take the kids entirely. Just about all she does is laundry. Yet I was bashed by everyone. The woman who watches my kids told her to cheat. My wife asked what she should do. The girl said if you're truly happy with Chris, don't, but if you just want a little fun on the side, why not? No one backed me up. She had trashed me enough that they all played into this. She lied and fought and threw things across the house as I found out more. She attacked me. She physically put herself on top of me, screaming like a lunatic, any time I said I was leaving, and when I would put my arms up to defend myself she would say don't touch me, in order to get me to remove my arms to attack me. She threw a knife. She threatened to kill herself in front of my kids several times with said knife. She threw cat food at me which exploded on the wall. I've been hit on the head by an Xbox One controller she threw in a rage that bounced on the wall and hit me in the back of the head. She threw a freaking slow cooker at me on one occasion too. Most of the time it's after she reveals she has been lying and I say I'm mad. While I have said some bad things, most of the time I restrain myself. That time though, when she threw the slow cooker saying that I was acting like I thought she was a whore, I said I don't think you acted like a whore. I know you acted like a whore. Yes, mean, but she did. The Snapchat guy, she blew him the first day she met him. She hid men so many times. First it was Cole and Beth, Ricardo, then it was 3 including another random Snapchat guy. Then 4 friends of her ex. Then I found out some girls from work helped her to get a number from a guy named Thor. Then 2 online she was going to go see when she went down to Vancouver. There are a few advantages to this. All the men were ugly. My wife knows I'm the best she can do now. And me, well, I was bigger than all of them too, which I have to admit felt pretty good. And the second advantage, she may be crazy, but I did retaliate. Part of it was because I've been cheated on before and I know what happens if they think you're weak or begging. So some advice for men cheated on: do not beg them to stay. There are more to come. Find out the update of this story, check our channel or the description. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.